Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I am Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Together we are the luckiest discoveries that will make you rich. All you've got to do is invest in our NFTs that we're bringing out. What else? Office coins, bloke coins.
Yeah. Coming to.
Absolutely guaranteed that you will make back at least half of your money, as in lose half of your money.
Right.
Makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense, does it?
Yeah.
None of it does, though, anyway. Right, the luckiest discoveries that made people rich.
Yeah. Metal detectors. There's got to be some of those involved,
Coins.
I would guess.
There's always some like Roman hall of coin, like a hall of
There'll be
coin.
some sort of invention that's lucky. Or, I don't know, are they lucky? I mean, I was driving up
discovery,
motorway the
though,
other
isn't
day when it's pitch black over in like North Lincolnshire. You can see the cat's eyes a miles off it. I mean, the guy that invented those.
Yeah.
I mean,
But that's not
but that's not a discovery, though, is it? I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
People have
true.
found
treasure,
Different, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm
paintings
thinking.
in a loft somewhere,
Yeah,
things
that's
like
what I'm
that.
thinking,
Yeah,
exactly
I thought I
that.
was going to throw it away, but
Yeah.
yeah, get that.
Let's
Go
do
for
it
it.
then. Luckiest discoveries that made people rich.
All of us want to find ways to get rich quick, and sometimes that fortune we're looking for isn't far away. Maybe buried in a garden or in a pile of junk in an attic, or a sale, just waiting for that lucky person to unearth it. Some people might spend their entire lives searching for that stroke of luck, and for some it might stumble right into their laps. In today's episode of Top Trending, we feature the 10 luckiest discoveries that have made people rich beyond their wildest dreams. At number 10 on our list is a construction worker's accidental discovery of the first comic book where Superman made an appearance. David Gonzalez of Hoffman, Minnesota decided to go out on a limb and purchase for $10,100 an old house that was to be torn down. He wanted to renovate it and hopefully make a profit reselling it, but little did he know what the house had in store for him. While he was pulling down the ceiling, he found a bunch of newspapers that had been stuffed in as insulation materials. Amongst these papers was a 1938 volume of Action Comics #1, which introduced the character of Superman and is now considered the most valuable comic book of all time. With only
I can see Dave's brain fucking ticking there. I just know for a fact he'll have his hand in that hole in the kitchen later, rummaging around for the fucking...
The hole that's still there.
Yeah, rummaging around for the paper insulation coming down with the sun from fucking 1986. Sam Fox in there with the tits out.
Bit of a ticker and
Now I'm interested. It just took tits out. That's the thing is, if he would have just got a crew in, and you know he's obviously doing a lot of the work himself, trying to make some money. If he would have got a crew in, that would have disappeared, wouldn't it?
Maybe.
could have done, yeah.
Or it could have just been binned.
Could have just been smashed down and sort of like demolished and you
And how many
wanted the
people
rest of
just
it.
grab a load of papers and just lob them, like, because you've been used for insulation, just
Yeah.
lob 'em.
Yeah.
Rather
True.
than he's gone through them all and thought, what's this?
Yeah.
You know?
I think the reason these things are so valuable is because so many people have binned it. You know, they've
not around,
probably
will be.
printed hundreds of thousands of them.
Yeah, when they come out, I mean, disposable, aren't you? Get comics. Some
Yeah.
people might collect
Maybe
them,
not-
but a lot of them are just thrown.
Maybe not so much in 1938, though.
Tens of thousands, maybe, but
Yeah.
there still would have been a fair few.
Yeah.
What do you reckon it's worth?
I thought that other one was the most
it'll be
expensive,
over
the
a-
Spider-Man one, but
It's got to be a few million, hasn't it?
it's got to be a couple of million.
I think Superman's bigger than Spider-Man. He'd win in a fight.
Yeah,
Yeah, easy.
2 mil.
2.5.
about 100 known copies in existence. As can be expected after 70 years of being used as padding, the book was not in great condition, and it became worse as David accidentally tore the back cover a few days after finding it. Nevertheless, he was able to sell the comic in an online auction for $175,000. And
If only he hadn't have ripped that back cover off.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't in the perfect condition, was it then, to be
No.
fair? So
45 bids. 175 grand.
Wow. Why put it on eBay? Because the fees you're
Yeah,
gonna
you
pay
do.
on eBay for that.
It's not only that, you go to a specialist, don't you? with that.
in the house, he continued renovating it, but now vows that he will never sell it. Here's a place that thousands of people visit every week hoping to get lucky. The Crater of Diamonds State Park in Arizona offers its visitors a unique experience, hunting for diamonds in the open fields. And if you're lucky enough to find a diamond, it's yours to keep. Over 32,000 diamonds have been found at the park since it opened in 1972.
Wow,
But since
wow.
most of the diamonds found are small, there are only a few fortunate ones who have converted the now $10 entrance fee into a fortune. Most notable among those is W.W. Johnson of Amarillo, Texas, who was vacationing with his family in 1975 when he found a rough white diamond weighing over 16 carats. Christened the Amarillo Starlight, the diamond was cut into a 7.5 carat marquise shape and is estimated to be worth between $150,000 and $175,000.
wow.
What a cool idea of something to do with the
great
kids or
idea,
something.
Yeah, for what was it, $10 to get
Yeah.
$10.
Yeah, just occupy them all day, just panning for diamonds.
I just go in there and fucking dump loads of fucking big shards of glass everywhere in the middle of the night.
Diamantes, just dropping out your trouser
Dropping
leg.
loads of them all over. You know what I mean?
There's got to be once a chunk like
That's
that.
what I'm saying. I get chunks.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that,
set up a
big-
first aid stall at the other end.
Yeah. Chunks
Selling
of, like,
plasters
shit.
for a £5.
Yeah.
Just leave a couple of axes and a couple of swords lying around nearby.
Don't give up hope, though. In March 2017, 14-year-old Carl Langford hit the jackpot when he found a 7.5-carat dark brown diamond 30 minutes into his visit to the park.
Wow.
The Hand
That's
of
cool.
Faith is the largest gold nugget in existence today. It was found in 1980 in Victoria, Australia by prospector Kevin Hillier.
Wow.
For 18 months, he'd been living in a caravan with his wife Bep and their 4 children, struggling to
What?
make ends meet as they traveled around Australia. Bep, a firm believer in the Christian faith, had been praying consistently for guidance and a helping hand to keep their family living comfortably. And it seems like God truly answered her prayers when Kevin literally struck gold. He was investigating a spot where his metal detector had gone off and found this 27-kilogram hunk of gold resting in a vertical position, just 12 inches under the surface of the ground. Kevin and Bep dug up the nugget and hefted it into their caravan, naming it the Hand of Faith, as from some angles it looked like a hand delivering a blessing. Their find received huge publicity in the Australian media, and they sold the nugget for a whopping $1 million to the Golden Nugget Casino in Las Vegas, where it is still on display.
Wow.
We've all heard of a lucky penny, but can you imagine a single penny being worth a fortune? San Diego real estate agent Randy Lawrence suddenly found that he was the owner of a unique penny, minted in 1974 and made of aluminum, at a time when the rising costs of copper forced the United States Mint to start experimenting with other metals. Almost all of the aluminum cents that they minted were recalled and destroyed after it was found that they didn't work in vending machines and didn't appear on X-ray scanners. One of these coins, it appears, was given to Lawrence's father when he retired as deputy superintendent of the Denver Mint. After his death in 1980, it remained in a plastic sandwich bag together with his collection of about 300 other coins, until Lawrence suddenly discovered them and took them to a coin dealer in 2014. They were amazed when their research revealed how rare this one coin was, since there were only 2 other known examples of such coins, including one that was presented by a mint to the Smithsonian Institution, and the penny was valued at anywhere between $250,000 and $2 million. At number
I love that.
Yeah. It's a big gap as well, isn't it, with the valuation?
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think at the right time with the right hype, it's going to
With
go
the right
high,
people,
isn't
which
it?
is why you take them to auction house, because they get the right buyers in, don't they, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
but I just love the idea that some old timer has had it with his coin collection and
In a sandwich bag.
Yeah, just like that, and then someone finds it and it's worth all that. It's
Yeah,
the dream,
great.
isn't it? I
Yeah,
love
of course
love
it
when
is.
people do it.
Number 6 on our list is the incredible story of Bobby, who was an opal miner for over 40 years in Australia before he fell on hard times and decided to quit, selling all his mining equipment to a friend. All he had left with him was one last bucket of rocks, and for old time's sake he decided to look through them. As he was rubbing one of the grimy rocks clean of the dirt and cemented sand, he caught a flash of blue, green, and gold, and lo and behold, there it was, the jewel he had always been looking for. He spent the next 2 years chiseling away the rocky husk with a dental drill, and his effort brought to life a 306-carat gem-quality opal. He was so frightened that it would be stolen that he slept with it under his mattress for the next 12 years, not disclosing its existence to a single soul, considering himself the guardian of one of God's greatest creations. We're not sure what brought about a change in his mindset, because in 2013 the jewel was put on sale for a cool $3 million. We're not sure where the opal, or Bobby, is now. This 19th century American artist might not have been very popular during his own lifetime, but owning his paintings has been a life-changing discovery for more than one person. In 1999, an anonymous Indiana resident was playing the Parker Brothers board game Masterpiece when he saw that one of the paintings featured in the game was very similar to one that he had at home, that he bought a few years ago for next to nothing to cover up a hole in the wall. Curious about its provenance, he searched the internet and got in touch with an art dealership, which authenticated the painting as Heat's Magnolias on gold velvet cloth, and also put him in touch with the Museum of Fine Arts in Houston, which paid a cool $1.25 million for the painting. Earlier that year, Christie's
that's not
A few
right.
digits out there, weren't they?
It was a bit, yeah.
125 grand there, but yeah, can you imagine that?
Wow.
Just watching a board game going, hang on a minute.
Yeah, I've seen that somewhere
On
before.
the wall over there.
You wouldn't think it's real, would you?
No.
Like someone's taking the piss.
Yeah.
They've slipped a card in there.
It's still amazing how things like this crop up, because if you watch like the Antiques Roadshow over here, and I think they have it all around the world, don't they? Things like that now.
Yeah.
But still, even today, people with paintings that they've had up for years or in a loft and ornaments are still bringing them to these shows and still finding things that have been, that worth a fortune. It's incredible.
There was a Banksy on the side of a house they were demolishing today, wasn't there? They were trying to
really?
They trying to keep the Banksy paintings intact.
Right.
Yeah.
I know it's completely different, but when I was sort of buying and selling stuff, trying to, like, we did that challenge where you've got a fiver and you've got to turn it into more money. The amount of things you find, like big couches, for example, where people are like, I just don't want it. I want it. Or they may have spent a couple of grand on it, but they just don't want it. You know, they've changed the decor, it's in the way, and you pay £2 for it or £1 for it. And it's like, what something is worth to someone bears no resemblance to what that thing's actually worth.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
You know, you can get lucky with things like that. Maybe not to this degree.
No,
but
this is a one-off, isn't it?
Yeah, but all day, every day, people are getting lucky with £10 items they're selling for £1,000 and things like that.
Yeah.
His auction house in London sold a heat painting called Two Magnolias on Blue Plush for $882,500. Its owner had bought the same painting 10 years before in a rummage sale in Wisconsin for $29. These are not the only such stories. In 1996, a lady bought a pair of heat paintings at an Arizona garage sale for $100. She sold them both in an auction later that same year for a total of $1,072,000. Now that's a good reason to splurge at your next neighborhood garage sale. At number
Imagine being the person that got rid of them for $100 only.
It's probably the same person, isn't it?
I'm thinking, geez, really?
Yeah.
You'd be absolutely sick.
Someone's died and their wife has got rid of all their stuff, taking it to a charity shop or something
like that, But at the same time, they might have been happy with the $100 because they might have only paid $5 for them.
Maybe, yeah. They
never
might
know,
look
do
at
you?
it. They might
So,
look at it and think,
you
it's
know.
a bag of shit, this is. Just get rid of it, make a few quid from it. $100? Ooh, I'll have some of that.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
Number 4 on our list is a real story of discovering buried treasure. It begins with Peter Watling, a resident of Suffolk in England, losing his hammer in a field he was working in. He asked his friend Eric Laws, an amateur metal detectorist, to help him find it. As Laws was searching through the field, he started finding some valuables: silver spoons, gold and silver coins, and even pieces of gold jewelry. He immediately notified the city council, who were the owners of the land, and they sent in an archaeological unit to excavate the place the next day. What they found was history, the largest hoard of Roman gold and silver ever found in the United Kingdom, dating back to the 4th century. The collection included over 200 gold and silver artifacts and over 15,000 gold and silver coins. The Hoxna hoard was taken over by the British Museum, but as per the law, the government had to reward the finder with money equivalent to its market value. So in 1993, the British Crown paid to Eric Laws £1.73 million, equivalent to about $2.5 million, a sum which he decided to share equally with his friend Peter Watling. A huge reward indeed for losing just a hammer.
good on him.
At number 3 on our list of the luckiest discoveries that made people rich is the copy of the Declaration of Independence that an unnamed man found inside a torn painting. He purchased the old country scene for $4 at a flea market in Adamstown, Pennsylvania, mostly because he liked the frame and wanted to reuse it. When he got home and tried to dismantle it, the frame broke, but hidden in the picture backing was an old folded document. A Civil War memorabilia collecting friend advised him to have it appraised, and turns out that it was a Declaration of Independence that had been printed at the instructions of the Continental Congress on the 4th of July 1776 to carry the news of America's independence to citizens across the 13 colonies. We'll never know how this particular copy ended up in this painting, but there were only 23 other known copies of this historic document, only 2 of which were in private hands. It was sold in auction in 1991 for $2.42 million, more than double the sum that had been anticipated. A declaration of financial independence indeed, for the lucky finder of this treasure. Number 2 on this list is also a buried treasure hoard that was found in the county of Staffordshire, England. For many years, Terry Herbert had been asking landowner Fred Johnson.
Terry definitely lives in Stoke.
Terry.
doesn't he?
Yeah. They all look exactly the same, don't they? Like we know what these guys are going to look like.
That is a proper strong look in it.
That's what
Brilliant.
most of the guys I used to shoot shotguns with looked exactly
I can
like
imagine.
that as well.
Yeah, he's
But
well
the-
geared up for that, isn't he?
The amount of stories you hear where someone like bought it because they liked the frame
Yeah.
and they took it
Yeah.
down. There's been another painting behind it. It's been,
Something else.
Yeah.
for permission to search his farmland with a metal detector, and an exasperated Fred finally agreed in July 2009. Over the next 5 days, Terry found 244 gold objects of different sizes on the freshly plowed field, and as required by law, he notified the authorities. Their excavation revealed the most important Anglo-Saxon treasure ever found in England, a collection of over 1,300 exquisitely carved gold, silver, and jeweled items, many of them designed for battlefield use. In total, there was about 5 kilograms of the purest gold and about 2.5 kilograms of silver. The treasure was valued at £3.285 million, which the Birmingham Museum raised through a public appeal appeal so that it could acquire the hoard in its entirety. The law, though, had changed in 1996 to require the reward to be paid not just to the finder, but also to the owner of the land on which it was found. So Fred Johnson and Terry Herbert were each paid over £1.6 million, or $2.6 million for the Staffordshire hoard. A blessing, one would think, but it appears that it has been a curse on their friendship, because the pair have not spoken to each other since the treasure was found. At the top of our list is...
They hated each other anyway.
Yeah, the guy found it, he thought he should have all of it, and then the landowner probably thought, it was
it's
on my
mine.
land,
Yeah.
it should all be mine.
Instead of taking 1.6,
It's unbelievable what a bit of money does,
he wanted
isn't it?
3.2.
Yep.
I know, yeah.
Imagine how many of these fields have been farmed for the past 500-600 years.
Yeah.
And we just take for granted that it's a farm. It's like a modern farm. There's,
Yeah.
But that field may have remained in that state for the past 500 years, and there could be anything. under
Most
it.
farms these days have probably been farms for centuries, haven't they? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't tend to get like a brand new farm popping up here.
No.
The ones that have been there for
Knock down a
donkey's
housing
years.
estate to build a farm.
Yeah.
Dave the driver's trying it. He's trying to build a farm, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
is the miraculous story of a Midwestern scrap dealer who was combing through a flea market when he chanced upon a heavy bejeweled gold object. He bought it for about $14,000, hoping that he could sell it forward for a $1,000 profit to someone who'd melt it down for the gold and jewels. He was unable to find any buyers who thought it was worth more than what he had paid for it.
Is it Fabergé egg?
Well, it could be. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they're selling it for 14,000 anyway.
For the
You think
gold.
you think, oh man,
Scrap
these people
value.
that are selling it for that though, you'd think,
Just probably weigh it and go, that's what it's worth.
yeah, you think if you owned it, you'd look into it yourself, wouldn't you? If you had something, if you're going to get someone to pay £14,000, you must think it's worth a few bob. I better
In
look
weight in
into it a
gold.
bit more.
Yeah.
even weight in gold.
That
you know.
person might own a pawn shop
Yeah.
and just buy things at scrap value and
Yeah,
just sell them on for whatever they
Fair
can
enough.
get.
Yeah.
But he still believed in the value of the piece and turned to the internet to try and find out more about it. His search results flabbergasted him. He was in possession of the legendary Third Imperial Egg, made to order for the Russian Tsar in 1887 by jeweler Carl Fabergé. He couldn't believe his luck.
That's
Wow.
easily Googleable, though.
Yeah.
If you've got that item, you can
Yeah,
find that out quite easily. Yeah, well, that's not good.
And flew to London to consult the Fabergé egg expert mentioned in the online article. The expert was equally stunned by the photographs he saw and flew back to America with the scrap dealer to verify the discovery. And right there, in a modest home next to some muffins on the kitchen counter, was the fabulous handcrafted Easter egg that had been believed lost for over 90 years. A purchase was quickly arranged on behalf of an unidentified private collector who reportedly paid $33 million for this emperor's gift. That's a profit of $32,985,000 more than what this lucky man was hoping to make from his flea market purchase.
Brilliant.
That's our list of the 10 luckiest discoveries that made people rich. Did you agree? Disagree? Do you know of other such strokes of luck that people have made a fortune from?
I absolutely love stuff like that.
Same. That story, that's a great story because he's gone out on a whim, hasn't he, as well, paying 14 grand, hoping to make a grand.
Yeah.
No one buying it,
Yeah.
and then selling it for 33 mil.
Oh wow, that is some going at in it. Could you imagine?
The dealer probably got 3 mil.
Yeah,
That's it,
Get
you
a
know,
few quid, yeah, of course.
Taxman, dealer, blah, blah, blah.
You'll
you
still
know.
make a pretty penny out of that.
What's he walking away with, do you think?
The guy who owns it.
Yeah. You're paying 50% to the government, aren't you, when you sell it?
Are you?
Tax.
For what?
Income tax.
Yeah,
You're not just making 33 million and the government are going to go, all right, sweet.
but you won it.
I think the sale is the thing.
I've just
isn't
been
it?
having a lottery ticket. I'll get a letter from the National Lottery. Doctor it a little bit on the PDF. PDF editor.
Yeah.
Make it look like I've won the lottery.
I'm sure it could get. Yeah, well, I mean, obviously it's well known where he sold it to and everything, I suppose, isn't it?
It's very well documented. There's no
You
getting
know,
away with
otherwise,
that.
you could have like a Swiss bank account, couldn't you? Where these people just, I'll put your money in there.
First
for
thing
your
you
son.
do is get a great tax accountant
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just say, "What's the deal here?"
You probably had to register a business in Luxembourg, wouldn't you? That's Fabergé Egg Holdings that owns one Fabergé egg. You sell it.
XRLs.
You sell it and then just pay yourself a load of money.
I'm sure
every
if
year.
you know there's like $30 million or pounds involved, then like say you'd get people in first, wouldn't you, that know about these things and do it the right way. Sort of
It probably
thing.
comes out about 20 mil,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
22, 24 mil.
I mean, it's
plenty,
still
innit?
you're not,
Plenty.
you're not going to cry about it, are you?
No,
It's excellent.
absolutely. Exactly. Any more?
No.
No.
On that note, hope you guys enjoyed it too. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.